Earth taught us how to live, but the universe is about to teach us how to perish. What if every planet had its own unique way of executing your soul? From the fires of Mercury that erase your shadow, to the frost of Pluto that turns your breath into daggers of ice, the light does not fade all at once, it is torn from the edges of your vision until you are nothing but a heartbeat trapped in a cage of glass, drifting through a void that was never meant to hold a human soul. You are falling through an expanse where the sun is either a cruel, unblinking master or a distant, dying spark, and the air you brought with you, that thin, precious thread of home, is now a whistling ghost escaping through the seals of your endurance. As the first realization of your solitude sets in, you understand that the universe is not a playground for discovery, but a series of beautiful, indifferent tombs. To die across the heavens is to learn that every star is a hearth that will not warm you, and every world is a cradle that will only crush your bones into the dust of eternity. You are a witness to a majesty that has no need for an audience, a small, fragile spark of life about to be extinguished by the cold logic of the infinite. On the world closest to the great fire, the ground is not earth, but a sheet of cracked, tortured iron that has forgotten the very memory of rain. You stand in a furnace of absolute light where the shadows are as sharp as razors, cutting through the silence of a planet that has been scorched to its very core. The heat is not a sensation, it is a physical weight, a golden hammer that demands your total surrender. You feel your skin curl like old parchment, turning to ash before the nerves can even translate the agony to your brain. You reach out a hand for a mercy that does not exist, finding only the blistering, arrogant glare of a sun that occupies half the sky. Here, there is no room for a final prayer or a lingering thought of home. There is only the instantaneous transformation of a man into a handful of salt and smoke. You are the moth that flew too close to the source of all things, unmade in the time it takes for a single, terrified pulse to thud in your neck. But the scene shifts, dropping you into a world of thick, choking amber, where the very atmosphere is a heavy ocean of ancient spite. You are not simply falling, you are being squeezed by the unseen hand of a giant. The sky is a low, oppressive ceiling of sulfur, and the heat is a dull, throbbing orange that melts the courage from your marrow. You try to scream, but the air is so dense it swallows your voice, turning your cry into a hollow vibration in your own throat. You are a grape in a cosmic winepress, and as the pressure mounts to 90 times the weight of the world you knew, your ribs begin to sing a brittle, snapping song of failure. In this place, beauty is a mask for a cruelty that turns lead to liquid, and you realize that even the strongest spirit cannot survive a world that refuses to let you take a single, honest breath. The clock of your life ticks down in seconds, each one an eternity of compression until your blood vessels can no longer hold the tide, and you vanish into the crushing embrace of the morning star. Then you land upon the red desert, and here, the cruelty is of a different, more deceptive kind. Mars does not scream, it whispers. It is a world of pale, bruised pink skies and an eerie, haunting silence that feels like the breath of a ghost. At first, it looks like a place where you could build a home, but that is its greatest lie. As your oxygen fails, the thin, dry air begins to boil the very fluids in your veins, a gruesome irony where you are cold on the outside but simmering within. You watch the sunset, a mesmerizing, alien blue that bleeds across the horizon, and you realize that this beauty is the last thing you will ever see. The dust here is not mere sand, it is a living shroud, fine as silk and cold as a grave. It begins to settle on your suit with the weight of 1,000 forgotten years, tiny particles tapping against your visor like the fingers of a spirit asking to be let in. These final moments on the red sands, a profound ache of regret fills the hollow spaces of your soul. You do not think of the stars or the glory of the journey, you think of the small, worthless, things of earth. You ache for the smell of wet soil after a summer rain, the sound of a distant neighbor's laughter, or the simple, unearned miracle of a breeze through green leaves. You are dying in a kingdom of dust, realizing too late that you traded a paradise of life for a stone that offers only silence. Your blood becomes a tide of iron, your thoughts turn into heavy blankets of frost, and you lie down to become one more red monument in a valley that has seen no life for 1 billion years. The dust continues to fall, weaving your burial, until you are nothing but a memory forgotten by a blue planet that still breathes without you. But the true terror waits in the belly of the great storm, a world with no floor to catch you, only an endless descent into a howling, multicolored throat of clouds. You fall through layers of gold, copper, and violent violet, chased by lightning bolts that are wider than the cities of Earth. The roar is absolute, a choir of 1,000 hurricanes screaming in a language of pure chaos. There is no up or down, no sanctuary, only the crushing weight of a planet that is more gas than solid, a god-king that digests all who enter its domain. The deeper you fall, the darker the world becomes, until the light is a forgotten myth and you are nothing but a tiny, flickering spark in a sea of liquid metal. You are not just dying, you are being unmade, your atoms scattered into the swirling, indifferent currents of a giant that has no ears for your pleas. In this abyss, you learn the true meaning of insignificance. Further out, past the rings of ice and bone, the wind becomes a jagged blade that tears the very memory of your face away. You are caught in a sapphire nightmare where the air moves faster than a bullet, whipping you through a freezing haze of methane and ammonia. The cold here is an ancient, sentient entity, a force that stops your heart before it can even beat in protest against the injustice of the dark. You fall through rains of diamonds that cut through your suit like glass, a glittering, beautiful cruelty in a world of blue shadows. You are a leaf in a gale that never tires, a fragment of life lost in a cathedral of ice. The loneliness is a physical weight, a sense that you have traveled so far from the hearth of humanity that you have crossed the border into a place where even grace cannot reach. You are a ghost among the giants, spinning in the supersonic turbulence until your structural integrity fails and you become one with the freezing mist. On the final shore, at the edge of the great dark, the sun is nothing more than a cold, distant needle of light, a star like any other. You stand on a plain of nitrogen ice, where the silence is so heavy it rings in your ears like the tolling of a funeral bell. The stars above are hard and unblinking, eyes of ice watching a flickering candle go out in the wind. Your last breath leaves your lips as a puff of white crystal, falling to the frozen ground like a dead bird that has lost its way. There is no struggle left, no anger, only the quiet, cold acceptance of the void. You are a speck of dust at the end of a long, dark hallway, and as the frost claims your eyes, you see the true scale of the universe, a vast, echoing room where life is the rarest and most fragile thing of all. The journey ends not with a grand revelation, but with a whisper that no one will ever hear. You have seen the heights of the furnace and the depths of the abyss, and you have learned that the universe does not hate you, it simply does not know you are there. The planets are not stages for our dramas, they are ancient, lonely giants following paths laid down before the first word was ever whispered into the dark. To die among them is to be a witness to a majesty that has no need for an audience, a beauty that is as terrifying as it is absolute. You realize, in the final throb of your fading mind, that the greatest miracle was never the stars or the rings of Saturn, but the simple, unearned gift of a world that let you breathe, a ground that didn't crush you, and a sun that warmed you without turning you to ash. You close your eyes for the last time, a wanderer who found the answers only when there was no one left to tell them to, leaving behind a silence that is the only true monument to your existence. The darkness is now absolute, and the heavens continue their silent, majestic dance. The red dust settles on the plains of the exile, the sapphire winds continue to howl through the frozen giants, and the great fires of the inner circle burn on, indifferent to the tiny ghost that once dared to walk among them. You are gone, dissolved into the elements of a dozen different hells, but the silence you left behind is a testament to the fragile beauty of a life that was never meant to belong to the stars. The universe remains, vast and cold and perfect, while the memory of your warmth fades into the background radiation of 1,000 billion years. If this journey through the silent tombs of the cosmos has moved you, remember that the most beautiful planet isn't in the stars, it's right beneath your feet. Don't let your soul drift away without appreciating the breath you just took. Subscribe to join our next expedition into the unknown, and tell us in the comments, Which of these worlds terrified you the most?